all three of the KNC Masterpiece participants today were at Globe Life Field last night for the Home Run Derby. It was a fun time. And look, let's go ahead and get to some of the fun of this. Let's start with cut number one because I think this was the loudest that the building was during the course of the event was when Adolis Garcia was introduced.
Making his second Derby appearance. His forearms are the size of my back. The 2020-23 ALCS MVP and World Series champion from your Texas Rangers, from Ciego de Ávila, Cuba. Make some noise for Adolis Garcia!
Oh, I think they hate me. My big team. Ain't no parties in the garden.
I'm amazed. I don't even know that the TV copy has how loud it got in the
music,
stadium.
The music, I didn't know this until I just heard it. The music drowned out the standing ovation that Adolis got in the building.
It was incredible.
Which was great. I feel like he needs it. It's for another topic, but I feel like Adolis needs to feel loved right now because I think his confidence is way down on himself.
Yeah.
And so I love that moment. I love the attitude that he came out of that box from.
Yeah, I was wondering when they rolled that box onto the dirt. I was like, "What is this? Is that a backstop? Like, because that takes away from the batter's eye. Is that gonna be there?"
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah, I was like, "This is
But
weird."
They put it together. Then I saw the players, before television could see it. All the players get in there, and I was like, "Oh, that's how they're going to be introduced."
And it was a cool introduction. What was your takeaways? What were your observations from the Home Run Derby? Because just listening to Sean and RJ kind of be a little bit of our proxy because I tried in the auxiliary press box, obviously watching the game, but I tried to look at the TV copy a little bit to get a little bit of a feel. But using Sean, RJ, Bobby, Peyton as my kind of proxy for the folks watching at home, I felt like I had a very different experience than what they described with the Derby on television.
It was awesome being there. I loved it. It's one of those things that I haven't gone. Now, I don't remember a lot about being at the 1995 Home Run Derby, except it was during the day. So if you were out in Arlington and taking in the events at the All-Star Village around like 2 o'clock to, let's say, 5 o'clock, can you imagine doing the Home Run Derby in the heat? Like that was, I just remember I was sweating. I was going to esports to take, my kid and my friend and my kid's friends over to the esports All-Star Village yesterday. And we were walking around 4 o'clock-ish to go over there. And I was like, God, can you imagine if this thing was outdoors, like how much we were going to be sweating, and then what the energy level would be like for these guys trying to compete in a Home Run Derby in this weather environment. But man, I loved it. I went in 95. I don't even remember who won. I'm sorry, I forget it because it was so hot. That's all I remember is being a 17-year-old and remembering how hot it was at the Home Run Derby that I was at. And this one, I don't think it will be really that remembered 5 years from now.
Yeah.
There was nothing special. In fact, I will say this. I had to look up when we got to our seats, like, who is the defending champ? I forgot.
Guerrero Jr.,
right?
yeah.
And so I had to remember. So there's very few of these that are memorable, that are remembered.
Just on, like, the merits of the competition itself.
Right, and that's why the Mark McGwire situation, Josh Hamilton situation, I think Aaron Judge competing in it and winning it, like, those are very memorable. But there's not many that are memorable. But being there was really awesome. I loved it. I think my kid and his friends thought it was awesome. They were in the upper deck, and they were just like, that was so cool, And so there are probably some things that they could try to clean up and everything, but I do think entertaining our country, entertaining our world at this point with a Home Run Derby or something like that, it's really tough. I don't know what you'd really need to do to keep the energy, but I enjoyed it. And if you went to it, I'm assuming you really liked it. Maybe there are some people who didn't, but I really liked it.
Yeah, let us know. Because I am interested in seeing is like your lasting impression from 95 was just hot. I do wonder, like, what your lasting impression will be. Do you have any any feelings on what it might be? What might be the big thing the first thing that comes to mind if you think about this 10, 20 years from now?
For me, this is going to be way different from what Major League Baseball thinks. I realize that if you're listening right now, maybe you're different, but 95% or maybe 99% of our Metroplex does not care at all that you are from Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah.
I would say there's actually zero pride. There's zero pride in being from Colleyville Heritage, Duncanville, wherever it is, whether it's, let's say, Matthew Stafford from Highland Park. We don't care at all. I'm surprised if I'm just going to tell you people, if Bobby Witt Jr. was from a Philadelphia suburb and that was in Philadelphia, he would have been getting standing ovations cheering for him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with this. They talk about Texas pride. Boy, there's no pride in kids that are from here that go on and play professional sports with another team. I was standing up cheering for Bobby Witt Jr. I'm proud of Bobby Witt Jr. Now, there's a little bit of pride in me that I'm from a dad who grew up here, who was a Texas Ranger. And I'm like, how do these people not know? If you're a Ranger fan, do you know that Bobby Witt pitched for about a decade for the Texas Rangers, that he was a premium prospect in the mid-'80s for the Texas Rangers? Do you know that Bobby Witt Jr. won a high school state championship for Colleyville Heritage? Do you know that he is considered by some scouts the greatest high school player that they've ever seen in the last 10 years? And most of the people there, I'm forgetting the guy's name on MLB Network who had the microphone.
Yeah. I'm also.
He's a very tall, slender guy, but he is trying to get the people in Arlington motivated to root for Bobby Witt Jr. in the first round. And then as Adolis didn't make it to the second round, which was disappointing from a Rangers standpoint. And I'm like, is the fan going to shift to rooting for Bobby Witt Jr. because he's from here? He grew up a Ranger fan. His dad was a Ranger forever. And I'm like, these people don't even know, or they don't care.
And that's Greg Amsinger was the guy from MLB Network.
I would like to say to our Metroplex, I'm surprised that you don't care at all. That so many kids from this Metroplex become adults and make it in their sport and become superstars. I'm just going to assume this. I guess people don't care about Patrick Mahomes Jr.
But that's the thing, is I feel like people really do care about Patrick Mahomes. And so I do wonder.
Tyrese Maxey. Not saying you should root for Tyrese Maxey, but I'm telling you, people don't care. They don't care about people from here making it.
I wonder how much of it is, one, how many people actually know of Bobby Witt Jr.'s association with the Metroplex. And then, two, I think it was a great point made here on the text line that there's a lot of Dallas is becoming very transient. There's a lot of folks that move here from elsewhere that maybe don't have that same sense and feeling. And then another thing, someone asked Hookem on the Twitch, asked, why would I cheer for a guy who plays for another team? So I do wonder how much all of those things come together, and then for various different sections, those things will keep them from rooting for Bobby. But Bobby was it was a fun experience. There were times where I was like, oh, he's not on pace, and then he would have really good runs. That's one thing I noticed, is just guys found their grooves, and in those moments, the building really built up.
Yeah, when you were hitting 3 or 4 home runs in a row, that's when it got really exciting. And maybe this, I'll give you this to the people listening. Maybe we're too big of a city. Now, Philadelphia is as big as us. Boston's bigger than us. They would root for their hometown heroes. But I did enjoy when guys got on a groove. I thought Jose Ramirez, how little he is.
Yeah.
He has to go all after it to get it. And you could tell how tired he was at the end of his 3-minute round. And for him, he was kind of the guy for me that knocked out Adolis Garcia, because I believe he hit 6 home runs in his bonus 3-out situation. And that was the guy who I felt like, dang it, he pushed Adolis out. And Jose Ramirez is one of the most underrated superstars in the game, because I think people think of him as an all-star.
Yeah.
But right now, he's the one offensively carrying Cleveland. And I get Kwan's leading off tonight and everything like that. But
I was like, come on, put some respect on Steve Kwan.
It was really fun being there. I really enjoyed it. The one thing that was just surprising to me that I have to understand is we don't care about Von Miller. We don't care about Myles Garrett. We don't care about Patrick Mahomes Jr. We obviously don't care about Bobby Witt Jr., and I just thought that the crowd would be more into Bobby Witt Jr. His dad played for the Rangers for a decade.
Yeah.
Not that we weren't booing him. We weren't against him at all. I was just shocked when you're trying to find somebody to root for.
Right, especially
as Adolis has left the contest.
How did you feel about Adolis' performance? Because one of the things that I immediately noticed in this was like his pace wasn't great. And then, like I was mentioning, I think the players that moved on in this, they at least found their rhythm for a certain period of time, especially a lot of them right after their timeout. They were able to then, boom, rattle off a few. It felt like he wasn't able to get, though, and he didn't get all his allotted pitches, and it felt like he didn't play the system very well.
He didn't do it well last year, and there wasn't the maximum amount of pitches where you had only 40. But, yeah, I thought it was better the way Jeff Russell's son, by the way, another former All-Star son out there throwing batting practice to Bobby Witt Jr., is I thought that Bobby Witt Jr. did it right, and so did Alex Baum to start off the competition. Let's go at a pretty good pace to start this off. And then with about 30 seconds to go, have 5 pitches left where as I'm fatiguing, I'll have a little bit more time in between home run swings where Adolis and a couple other guys decided we're going to go at a slower pace. It ended up working out for Teoscar Hernandez because he's the champ. But Teoscar was dealing with the same thing where he would get down to there's about 20 seconds left and still have about 6 swings left and would maybe miss 1 swing or 2 swings or have to rush the last couple pitches where he wasn't ready to swing the bat.
Yeah, he got, as was mentioned on here, he didn't really play the bonus round of this very well either. He just swung away. And I guess maybe that's something that you talk about with the Adolis, just in general, swinging away, where it felt like, hey, take your time, make sure you get your pitch, and then send it. And I mean, he got 18 in regulation. You imagine if he plays this a little bit more like the eventual champion Teoscar and really takes his time, finds his pitch, he probably should have added a few more, and that probably would have pushed him along.
Because Ramirez added 6 in the bonus round in the first round. So he went from, I'm sorry if I'm drawing a blank, I think he had 20 in the first round. He had 14, I believe, at the end of the 3-minute round, and then he was able to go 6 for 9 in hitting home runs in the bonus round, and that was the guy for me that I felt like knocked out Adolis. And if Adolis would have been a little bit more patient, in fact, Hernandez, Teoscar, he was taking 2 pitches. It didn't matter where they were. He was just like, let me just see. Also, let me catch my breath. I'm not even going to load up to swing. And then the third one, he would then load up and be like, I'm swinging if it's in the zone that I feel like I can hit a homer. But it was a blast being there. If you didn't get to go, man, it's maybe 20, 30 years from now, you can get to go to the next one here.